Viking music, don't it?
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud, gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go, let's go.
Shooting, lights out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shooting Lights Out with your boy Darnell, Playmaker, Sallins here in Jacksonville, Florida on this post-Thanksgiving weekend, Monday, November 28, 2022. I hope you're ready for a show. I got an excellent show for you guys. Mostly going to focus mostly on college basketball because that was the star of the weekend. Outside of football was college basketball, but I do have some NBA news I'm going to get into, and I do have a heat check for you concerning an NBA team who is red hot and is off the charts hot right now. So that's what we got for you today. No flagrant foul today. I don't got nobody to pick on today, no team to pick on today. So no flagrant fouls. So we're just going to do a heat check. We're going to talk college basketball, and we got a challenge coming up as well. So with that being said, let's get right into it. We're going to kick it off what we always kick it off with. We are going to go around the hardwood. And to begin around the hardwood, first headlines comes from the NBA. Tim McMahon from ESPN staff writer. Source, Mavericks to sign Kemba Walker to boost backcourt. The Dallas Mavericks intend to sign veteran guard Kemba Walker to address their glaring need for another creator in Luka Doncic supporting cast. Sources confirmed to ESPN. Dallas will wear a reserve point guard, Ricardo Capizello, whose contract is not guaranteed, to create an open roster spot for Walker, so it's said. Walker, 32, a four-time All-Star whose career has been derailed by knee issues, has been a free agent since being waived by the Detroit Pistons in mid-October. He averaged 11.6 points and 3.5 assists in 37 games last season for the New York Knicks, who traded him to the Pistons on draft night in a cost-cutting move that helped create salary cap space for the Knicks to sign former Mavericks guard Jalen Brunson in free agency. Dallas, which fell to 9-10 after an 0-3 road trip that wrapped up with Sunday's loss to Milwaukee Bucks, had missed the scoring and playmaking provided by Brunson during last season's run to the Western Conference Finals. I'm going to get back to that a little bit later, that game Sunday, because not a little bit later, but a little further down during the around the hardwood, because, hey, with that being said, because Luka said something about that game and certain players. So that's that. Moving on to our next topic. Draymond Green calls late tech crazy step, picks up one in solidarity. This is also from ESPN. The great Kendra Andrews wrote this article for us. Warriors forward Draymond Green was not happy when he was slapped with a technical foul in the waning seconds of Golden State's 137-114 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves on Sunday evening. Green, who finished the game with 19 points and 11 assists for his first double-double of the season, was given a tech with 1:19 left in the fourth quarter after Jordan Poole drove to the hoop and finished with a floating layup. Green, who was on the bench, mimicking Poole's motion as he hopped up and down, moving slightly onto the court. This was Green's 7th technical foul of the season. If a player reaches 16 techs, he would be suspended for one game. I'll get my thoughts in a minute. Here's a quote from Draymond Green. Quote, "It's crazy. I probably got 4 techs this year that are questionable. They told me I was at the lane line, but I thought I was standing in the corner, so I didn't know. It sucks, though." He also continued to say his quote, "It's the NBA, man. Your teammates make a great move. I didn't affect the play. There was no one near me, so it sucks. And the fact that it's going to count against my tech count, comment that's ridiculous. Dude, Draymond Green is getting tech for everything now. This is what really is going on in the NBA. We taking people for just about everything now. Draymond Green is celebrating a goddamn bucket made by a teammate, Jordan Poole of all people. if you get my drift. But he gets attacked because he was on the court, where he slightly stepped onto the court, but with the play going in the other direction, and he gets tagged for that. He didn't affect no player basketball. He didn't affect the floor of basketball, the floor of the play, nothing. He didn't affect nothing. Just mimic, and he got tagged. But that's not the only thing, though. As we keep going on, here we go. The article picks up and says this. Less than a minute later, Stephen Curry got called for a technical foul for running onto the court and waving his towel after Dante DiVincenzo hit a three, a sign of support for Green. Green says, quote, absolutely appreciate Curry's attempt to prove a point. So Curry got his tech on purpose, which Steph Curry rarely gets teched up anyway. That's probably his first tech in like how many seasons and how many years. But it goes to show you that, y'all just giving Draymond Green techs left and right for whatever reason. So Steph Curry's like, so, hey, let me get one too. While we at it, hey, we balling. Give me one. So rest out here, you get a tag, you get a tag, you get a tag, and you get a tag. That's what we doing in the NBA? Absolutely. You, the league office, y'all better get with the refs and tell them to chill out with these technicals, man. This is getting ridiculous. Now, if they deserve the tech, they get the tech. Draymond Green didn't deserve no damn tech. Now he got 7. He has 9 more techs, and we talking. What's the Warriors record right now? Draymond's already at 7 techs already, and they have played a total of 21 games so far. They have 61 more games. So Draymond Green has 61 more games to play, and he already is at 7 techs through 21. The way that is going, he gets a tech every 3 games. So if he gets a tech every 3 games, as the way this is going right now, because from what they said, this is 7 technical. So he's 9 away from getting a 1-game suspension. And you get to take every 3 games. You're talking within the next 27 games. Draymond Green might get his 16th technical, and he's suspended for a game. At the rate that this is going right now, I'm just saying. Draymond Green is getting a technical foul for everything. This is ridiculous. Like, wow, he was celebrating a shot by a teammate, and you gave him a tech. Really? What are we doing? Like, seriously, what are we doing here? But nevertheless, let me continue on before I get too much into it. All right. Our next article takes us to Madison Square Garden, ladies and gentlemen, where the article says by Tim Brunton. John Morant gets triple-double, gives Grizzlies wins at Madison Square Garden. After missing Grizzlies superstar John Morant completed his first triple-double of the season and his 5th of his career, Sunday evening at Madison Square Garden, and a win over the Knicks, he had a problem. John Morant, who finished with 27 points, 10 rebounds, and a career high tiny 14 assists, and the Grizzlies won 27-123 over the New York Knicks, had already planned on giving his jersey to Derrick Rose, after whom he has modeled his game. But for the first time in his career, Morant said his father, T, asked him for his jersey too. This is interesting. Morant said, quote, yeah, it's kind of awkward. I already planned to give my jersey away to D Rose. At first, I told my dad I was getting it away, man. Close quote. Like every other problem on this night, however, Morant had a solution for it. After changing into a new jersey during the game, he was able to give one to both his father and Rose after the game, which is kind of cool, man. You get to give your jersey to a dude that you modeled your game after, and Derrick Rose. It's good to see Derrick Rose still in the game. It's amazing to see. But as usual, it seems for Morant and the Grizzlies, things worked out just fine as Morant, playing without running mate Desmond Bain, who remains out with a toe injury, dissected everything Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau and his players threw at him throughout the game, playing a large role in the Grizzlies getting to 32 assists on the night before making what became the game-winning bucket on a layup with 13.9 seconds to go. This is from Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau. Quote, "We were double teaming him. We were doing a lot of stuff. His playmaking, he didn't fight it. Close quote. He just made the right play." So John Morant leads the Grizzlies to a win in Madison Square Garden, gets a triple-double, putting the Grizzlies at 12-8 on the season. That is currently third place in the West. As we continue to move forward, continue on with around the gridiron. Yeah, around the hardwood. My bad. I told you we was coming back to that to the Dallas and Bucks game. Luka Doncic, Giannis trade praises after Bucks roadmaps. Jamal Kerr of ESPN. After Milwaukee Bucks secured a 124-115 win over the Dallas Mavericks on Sunday night, Mavs star Luka Doncic had some high praises for former two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, calling him the best player in the league. Doncic says, quote, "It's hard to go against a guy like that. He is the best player in the NBA right now. He's almost unstoppable to stop. It's really fun to see him play, but it is not that fun to go against him." Close quote. Antetokounmpo's dominance helped the Bucks cruise to victory in a game they never trailed. Despite 27-12 from Doncic, Milwaukee blitzed the Mavericks, who were on the second of a back-to-back. Antetokounmpo finished with 30 points, 11 rebounds, his seventh game this season with at least 30 and 10, breaking a tie with Doncic for most such games in the NBA. Antetokounmpo also scored 30 points while shooting at least 55% for the fourth consecutive contest, tied for the longest such streak of his career back in 2017. Doncic went on to further and say, quote, "He's improved every day. He works really hard. You can see it. He works on everything. He works on his shot, and he's gotten better at a lot of things. He just gets better every day." Close quote. Both Doncic and Antetokounmpo have established themselves as early season contenders for the MVP award. Doncic leads the NBA in scoring, averaging 33.1 points, along with 8.7 rebounds and 8.4 assists, while Antetokounmpo is fifth in the league, averaging 30.9 points to go with 11.4 rebounds and 5.4 assists. Hey, what can I say? That these two brothers are good. But now we get to Antetokounmpo talking about Luka Doncic. So while Antetokounmpo was appreciative of the compliments from Doncic after the game, he offered his own praise for the Mavs superstar, saying, quote, "No matter wins or losses, just being respected by your peers is always a good feeling. I always love playing against the best in the league. He's an incredible player, an incredible talent. I believe one of the most talented players I have ever seen in my lifetime. It's unbelievable what he can do for himself and his team," close quote. Both guys playing their tails off. Both guys are doing whatever. Milwaukee is currently second in the East and second in the league, basically, with a 14-5 record right behind Boston. And the Mavs, they are 9-10, currently on a 4-game losing streak. Part of the reason why they are bringing in Kemba Walker to help Luka out, man. But the way Luka's playing, the Mavericks should not be 9-10. Luka needs help, and I think they're trying to get help whatever they can find help at. Continue on with the round of hardwood topic. We going to the City of Angels now. How lovely. LeBron James, A's-blooded Westbrook as pair keeps Lakers rolling. Dave McMenamin wrote this article for ESPN. Russell Westbrook had a blood covering his face after taking a flagrant foul to his forehead when LeBron James intervened to pull the Lakers point guard away from the fray and cover the cut with a towel in the third quarter Saturday. It was the it wasn't the flashiest sequence the pair were involved in together in the Lakers 143-138 win of the San Antonio Spurs. That distinction belongs to their double alley-oop in the first half, but it was the most significant one. James says, quote, his health is more important than the game of basketball, so just try to stop that and let this training staff do their job after we got him covered, after we got him over to the bench. Spurs big man Zach Collins caught Westbrook across the head with the right forearm while trying to defend a putback attempt by Westbrook with 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Westbrook sprung to his feet to confront Wallace when James put him away from the Spurs players gathered in the paint and towards half court. Nice shot for LeBron James to be a leader and do what he needed to do. The Lakers have been rolling as of late, as you can see. So I can't really pick on them at this moment in time like I've been doing before, or other people have. But 7-11 on the season, won 2 straight 5-5 in their last 10. They starting to get some wins on their belts now. We shall see what this leads to for them. By the way, Anthony Davis is expected to be turned to the Lakers tonight, as the Lakers will play against the Indiana Pacers. And give you the time and date for that game. What time is it? We know it's tonight, so it should be. It's in LA, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. The 11-8 Pacers visiting the Los Angeles Lakers should be an interesting one, especially with Anthony Davis coming back. It should be nice and a good one to see going forward and whatnot. But we have some more. We're going to the ladies' college basketball hoops now because Lindsay Whirling and Caroline Peck top women's hoops Hall of Fame class, and deservedly so. Former Minnesota Lynx star Lindsay Whalen and ESPN analyst Caroline Peck, the first Black head coach to win the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament among 5 women who will be inducted next year into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. This was announced Sunday. The induction will be held April 29th at the Hall in Knoxville, Tennessee. Whalen, who was inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts, in September, led Minnesota to the 2004 Women's Final Four, and is now the head coach of the Minnesota. She won 2 Olympic gold medals with Team USA. Whalen also helped lead the Minnesota Lynx to 4 WNBA titles, and also led the Kinetic Sun to the 2004 and 2005 WNBA Finals. Caroline Post, on the other hand, led Purdue to the 1999 National Championship, a breakthrough achievement for Black head coaches in the women's game. Pert, who played collegiately at Vanderbilt, has also been a head coach in the WNBA and for the Florida Gators, along with being a collegiate assistant at Tennessee, Kentucky, Purdue, and in her alma mater. Pert is a longtime commentator and analyst for women's college basketball and the WNBA for ESPN. The other inductees are Illinois State standout and 1984 Olympic gold medalist Kathleen Boswell, former Texas Women's Athletic Director Donna LaPamela, and longtime collegiate and WNBA referee Lisa Mattingly. So shout out to these women going into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Well deserved for Lisa Whalen. Has done a phenomenal job with what they do for the sport of basketball and the sport of college. Congratulations. Continuing with the ladies, Texas Warrior Hammer expected to play versus Princeton on. Now, this was, this was something that they needed because Texas has been falling off the map, in which he did play, and I can give you the numbers right here. as they beat Princeton 74-50. Hammond played 22 minutes, scored 11 points. She was 4 from 8 from the field. She missed her only three-pointer. But Texas needed a star point guard back. They needed it. The reigning Big 12 Freshman of the Year made her return. Alexa Filippo, she wrote this article back on the 26th. She made her season debut after missing the first 5 games with a toe injury. And they needed it in a worse way because they lost to UConn, Marquette, and Louisville at the battle for Atlantis. And the Longhorns went from number 3 in the AP poll to down to 19. We'll see what they say that when the polls come out tomorrow. But they needed a point guard back, and it was good for them to get their point guard back. Sticking with the women, South Carolina's Aaliyah Boston in walking book after fall. That is not a good sign for the number 1 team in the country and the reigning defending national champions. South Carolina's for Aaliyah Boston was sidelined with their walking boot on her white foot after a hard fall, doing the number 1 Gamecocks 85-38 win over Hampton. The most outstanding player of last spring's NCAA tournament was driving for the basket when she fell and took several moments to get up after getting fouled. Boston, a 6'5" senior, missed 2 foul shots, then ran down the floor on defense. South Carolina coach Don Staley subbed out Boston, who walked into the tunnel towards the locker room. Boston rejoined her teammates on the bench midway through the third quarter with a boot on her right foot. Staley said after the game that Boston is, quote, questionable, close quote, for South Carolina's next matchup Tuesday night against number 20 UCLA. That's going to be interesting because UCLA is one of the blue blood programs, and when it comes to basketball, mostly men, but the women can also ball too out there in California. You're going to be interested to see how the Gamecocks can do without their star player if she's unable to go, and I kind of think she probably won't be unable to go because this happened Sunday. Your next game is Tuesday. I don't think that foot or ankle's going to heal that quickly to play on. It's going to be interesting to see. She's questionable, but this could be a tall test for the reigning defending champions against UCLA. Yes, keeping it as real as I can be. And our final note to talk about in today's around the hardwood is this thing right here. ACC SEC Challenge announced for the 2023-2024 college hoops season. Jeff Bozero for ESPN wrote this article. The ACC, SEC, and ESPN have announced the formation of the ACC SEC Challenge for men's and women's basketball starting during the 2023-2024 season. The induction of the ACC SEC Challenge marks the end of the ACC Big Ten Challenge after 23 years and the end of the SEC Big Ten Challenge. I think he meant to say Big 12 Challenge that began in 2013. The ACC SEC Challenge will feature 28 games across men's and women's basketball until 2025-2026, when Texas and Oklahoma join the SEC and the event expands to 30 games. The future, there's a quote from the ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips saying, quote, the future ACC SEC men's and women's basketball challenge will be outstanding events for our student athletes, member institutions, and fans. The SEC, led by Greg Sankey and our partners at ESPN, have been terrific. There is a great excitement for the first annual ACC SEC Challenge next season. As part of this announcement, we'd like to acknowledge the Big Ten for its partnership on the ACC Big Ten Challenge that spanned more than 20 years. We're talking about two of the best conferences in college basketball. And this challenge will come to an end this season, which I will get into as my last segment of the show when you look at both the men's and women's ACC Big Ten challenges, which is going to be a doozy. as it always is. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey goes on to say, quote, "We are excited women's and men's basketball student athletes will have the opportunity to compete with their colleagues from the ACC as we initiate a new basketball challenge experience. I appreciate the collaboration of Jim Phillips and the ACC members, along with our broadcast partner ESPN, to make possible the SEC ACC basketball challenge, which will provide our fans with exciting basketball early in the 2023-2024 season. I also thank the Big 12 for the many great challenge games we experienced together in the past years. Each of the 28 games will be showed on an ESPN platform. It's interesting. It's sad to see the ACC Big 10 challenge ended, the SEC Big 12 challenge ended. But hey, as the years go on, sometimes change has to take place. This is a change that's taking place. We have the ACC Big 10 challenge getting ready to take place this week, and I'll get to that. As I said earlier, the final SEC Big 12 challenge will begin on January 28th, 2023. And that I'll get into that when we get to that point in time. But that's just something that I've been looking forward to. I'm happy that I get to see, and we get to see these two conferences go at each other in basketball, because we don't really see it that much. So you're going to get matches like North Carolina and Kentucky, Duke and Tennessee, Florida State, which already happens anyway. So let's say Florida and Virginia, Alabama and Miami. You got a lot of Auburn and Virginia Tech. You can go all kinds of different ways with this challenge, which is primarily going to be in the south part of the country, which is awesome. But you do have your Syracuse up in New York, your Virginia Tech's up there as well. But it's gonna be a good chance to see next season. But for right now, we got it where we at it. I'm looking forward to it. So that has been around the hardwood. So we're gonna take a break here, and when we come back, we're gonna go into our heat check segment. The Playmakers blog is proudly to announce that it is sponsored by Fanatics. Fanatics, where you can get all your official licensed sports gear, memorabilia, whether it's for the National Football League, the National Basketball Association, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, or even International Soccer League, or even college sports. So rep your team, rep the hardware, get comfortable, because Fanatics is the way to go, where sports fans shop and official license everything. All right, welcome back to the Shooting Lights Out, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the heat check. And as you see on the screen, we're talking the Boston Celtics, the best team in the NBA as of right now. As you can see, this team is red hot. They have won 9 of the last 10 games. They have the best record in the NBA, and you can't deny it, despite what they've been doing all season. Currently 16-4 in the season, number one in the East, number one in the NBA, because right behind us is the Milwaukee Bucks with the second best record in the East and in the NBA, as we spoke earlier, with a 14-5 record. Top team in the West is the Phoenix Suns at 13-6, so that tells you what's going on right now. And as you look on your screen, the number one scoring team in the league with 120.4 points per game. They are 11 in assists per game at 26.7. 14th in opponents' points per game at 113.3 a game. And they are 25th in rebound at 41.8 rebounds a game. They have a difference of +7 for points per game and opponents per game, which is, as I'm looking at the numbers right now, the best in the NBA. And right behind them is the Phoenix Suns at +6.9 difference per game, as they score 114.6 and they give up 107.7. So Phoenix does better on the defensive end than Boston, but Boston put up points left and right. Currently on the 3-game winning streak, 9-1 in the last team, as I mentioned earlier. This team that gets it done. And as you can see from the last 10 games on that 9-1 record, not really much competition. Got a good up-and-coming Detroit Pistons team that you beat twice, but they out. They got a ways to go. You been a different team. I give you that. OKC, who's been surprising everybody when they get the opportunity. But you talking about OKC team that's only 8-12. But Shea gives out his no score. Give him that. You beat the Atlanta Hawks. You went to Atlanta and took down the Atlanta Hawks. That's a good win. You're talking about a 11-19. You went to New Orleans and took down the New Orleans Pelicans. Your only loss in the 10 games was against the Chicago Bulls at the United Center, but you kind of like you beat Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. You take down Sacramento and the Kings, who were my last week's Heat check because they were rocking and rolling, and they had the number one scoring offense in the NBA at that point in time. But as you can see, the Boston Celtics only gave up 104 points to them. Held them well below their average. And then finally on last night, you took care of the Washington Wizards 130-121. Thus, you're 9-1 in your last 10 games, and you're currently on a 3-game winning streak. You know the stars of the Boston Celtics. Number 1, Jason Tatum, 30.5 points per game. Good gracious. Averaging 7.9 assists a game with 4.6. 7.9 rebounds a game, 4.7, and 4.6 assists per game. So you're talking 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists a game. That is what you call a superstar who can give you 30, give you a good amount of rebounds, and don't mind dishing out assists as well. And he does have a running mate, and his name is Jaylen Brown. We all know who Jaylen Brown is. Jaylen Brown's giving you 26 points a game, about 7 rebounds a game, and close to 4 assists a game. So between these two, you're talking about between Brown and Tatum, they are giving you at least 57 points a game, giving you a good, let's say, 13 or 14 rebounds a game, and they're giving you 8 assists as a tandem. That's what you want from your star players. But you do need a supporting cast. And the defensive player from last year was Marcus Smart. He's now up in his game more. 11 points a game, 3 rebounds a game, but he's giving you 7 assists a game. He's doing a phenomenal job, making sure he's running the offense, making sure the right people get the ball, and doing his thing. And then the big acquisition of Malcolm Brogdon from Indiana, who's coming off the bench. Coming off the bench, that's the 3rd leading scorer on the team with 13.6 points per game, giving you about 4 rebounds a game and 4 assists a game. That's off the bench. So when your second unit comes in, you have a leader, you have a point guard with Brogdon who can facilitate the offense, take the shot that he needs to take, and also make sure his teammates get involved. Now, with that being said, though, these guys are doing a phenomenal job. But why is that? Because when you say they're doing a phenomenal job, you got to look at it. You have Tatum, who's shooting 47.7% from the field. Jaylen Brown is shooting 50.7% from the field. Brogdon's at 46.6% from the field. Marcus Smart is shooting 42.2% from the field. They are shooting, as a team, the Boston Celtics shoot 49% from the field. They shoot 40% from 3. Okay? And this is why they are the team that they are. They shoot the ball well. They take quality shots. The team that was in the NBA Finals last year is picked up right where they left off, even with a coaching change from Ime Udoka to Joe. It has not changed nothing of what the Boston Celtics do and what they look like. This team is the reason why they are the favorites to come out of the East. And some are picking them to win the title, but you have your Brooklyn Nets over there with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, those people who want to see them do it. You have your Lakers fans over there that want to see LeBron James get another ring. You guys can't leave out the Golden State Warriors, who are the defending champs, who beat the Boston Celtics to win the title. Milwaukee's right there, is up there. We're looking for Phoenix to do something and make a noise. John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. But overall, who's playing better basketball than the Boston Celtics? I don't see nobody. But with that being said, though, we will find out in these next few games. Because let's see here. Tonight, in the back-to-back, you have Charlotte at home. And then after that, to end the month of November and to begin the month of December, you have two matchups with the Miami Heat, the team that you beat in the Eastern Conference Finals that went 7 games. So you have back-to-back games with them. Then you go to Brooklyn on the 4th. Then you go to Toronto on the 5th on the back-to-back before you head out west for your road trip, where it features Phoenix, Golden State, the Clippers, and the Lakers. So right here, after Charlotte, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of your next 9 games will be a test, an early test. By the way, as you can see on your screen, the Phoenix game is on ESPN. December 10th against the Warriors, that's on ABC, so that might be the first ABC game coming up. You have the Clippers on EBA TV, and then the day after that, on the 13th, you have the Lakers on TNT. You have some games coming up. You have some games that's gonna be televised to the national audience. We shall see how the Boston Celtics come out of this the next 9 games. And remember, they started off the season winning 9 straight. They had the longest win streak of the NBA at 9. They already at 3. I'm gonna give them Charlotte. So that's 4 in a row. I'm gonna give them Charlotte tonight. That's 4 in a row. After that, we shall see how they get through these next 8 games after Charlotte. 2 games against the Heat. You got the Brooklyn Nets, the Toronto Raptors, Phoenix Suns, Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Clippers, and the LA Lakers. And the crazy thing about it, after you're done hosting the Miami Heat back-to-back games, the rest of it is all road games, all the way from the Barclays Center to Wheaton North, to out in the desert, to the Bay Area, to Hollywood. Let's see if the Boston Celtics can still be that team that they have been looking like since the start of this season. That's the Boston Celtics, and that is your heat check. The Playmakers Bar is proudly to announce that it lettered a partnership deal with Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus. Stream live sports from any device that you have, whether it's your computer, laptop, or even your cellular device. Catch breaking news live when it happens, and enjoy a mountain of entertainment from movies to shows to whatever you love doing. Paramount Plus. Plan starts at $4.99 a month, but right now, you can get a free trial. Just hit that link below with the Playmakers blog and start your free trial right now. Paramount Plus, Mountains of Entertainment. All right, welcome back to Shooting Lights Out, ladies and gentlemen. And as you see on your screen, we get to our final couple of things to do on the show today. And first up, we got to recap what took place over Thanksgiving weekend, or Thanksgiving week, shall I say, when we had the Field Night Invitational for the ladies. As you can see here, the third place game for the Field Night Invitational Tournament took us to, the Oregon Ducks, ranked 18th in the country against Michigan State, as the Oregon Ducks take that one 86-78 over the Michigan State Spartans. India Rogers led Oregon with 19 points. For the Pina, Kyle have added 15 and 16. Kamari McDaniels led Michigan State with 28 points and 7 assists, but it just wasn't enough. That was the third place games in the Invitational Tournament. The third place game in the Legacy Tournament for the ladies put Duke against Oregon State, with Duke winning 54-41. As you can see, that was their third place game. Christina Taylor, 18 points to lead the Blue Devils in that win over the Beavers. But then we get to the championship game. And in the championship game of the Invitational Tournament, it was number 8, North Carolina against number 5, Iowa State, with the Tar Heels taking it 73-64. Deja Kelly, 29 points, 8 boards. Kennedy Todd Williams, 17-16 for the Tar Heels. Stephanie Soares for Iowa State, 19 points, 12 boards. Ashley Jones tried to help out with 18 points and 9 rebounds, but it wasn't enough as the Tar Heels win the Phil Knight Invitational Tournament. And for the Phil Knight Legacy Tournament in the ladies, it was number 3 UConn taking on number 9 Iowa. Izzy Ford for UConn, 24 points. Aaliyah Edwards added 20, 13, and 6 as the UConns beat the Hawkeyes 86-79. Caitlin Clark, a favorite for the Wooden Smith Player of the Year Award, 25.7 boards, 6 assists. Kate Martin added 20. It just wasn't enough as the Huskies could move on to 5-0 on the season. And Iowa suffered their second loss of the season, as you can see here. And same thing with North Carolina. They moved to 8-0 when they win the Phil Knight Invitational Tournament, but Iowa suffered their first loss of the season. Iowa State suffered their first loss of the season. That was the ladies. Let's go to the men's, and we're going to start off with the Bad Boy Motors battle for Atlantis. Third place, we had Wisconsin defeating USC 64-59. And then the championship game, number 3, Kansas suffered their first loss of the season, losing 50-64 to 22nd ranked Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee goes to 5-1 on the season. The defending champ dropped to 6-1 on the season. That's how that ended before we got to our field night tournaments for the men's side. The Invitational Tournament third place game featured number 1 North Carolina going against 18th-ranked Alabama. And yes, that is right, ladies and gentlemen. These teams went to 4 overtimes. 4 overtimes. As Alabama had on to win 103-101 over the North Carolina Tar Heels, number 1 team in the country. Number 1 team in the country suffered their second loss in as many days. Caleb Love for North Carolina, 34 points, 9 rebounds. Armando Bacot, 20 points, 10 boards. Mark Sears for Alabama, 24 points, 5 boards, 5 assists. Javon Quinley, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, as they got the dub on that one. For the Legacy third place game, it was Xavier versus number 6 Gonzaga, 88-84 Zagas with a close win over Xavier. You had Jack Nugent for Xavier, 25 points, 6 boards. Kobe Jones added 22, 7 and 7, where it wasn't enough because Jalen Schroeder for Zaga, 23 points, 9 boards. Drew Timmy, 16 points, 6 boards, 7 assists as the Zags take third place in the Legacy Tournament. And the championship game for the Invitational, it was number 20 UConn looking to go 8-0, as you see on the screen, going against Iowa State, 71-53. UConn Huskies wasn't that close whatsoever. They just dominated. Donovan Senegal for UConn, 15 points, 10 boards, led the way for the UConn Huskies. And then for the Phil Knight Legacy Championship game, number 8 Duke going against 24th-ranked Purdue. And Purdue had their way with the Duke Blue Devils, 75-56. It wasn't close whatsoever. Tyrese Proctor for Duke, 16 points, 5 boards. But Zach Edey for Purdue, the big man inside, 21 points, 12 boards. Ethan Lawyer added 18 as Purdue was dominant over the Blue Devils. Interesting to see how these rankings go with North Carolina going to be falling off that number 1 slot. Gonzaga, will they move up or down? What will Alabama move up to? What will Purdue go up since they undefeated? And also UConn, who are undefeated, where they move up to, and what does Duke fall at? That's what is going to get interesting about this right now, because it is what it is. That's what took place over the weekend. But now let's get to this as our final thing to get into. The ACC Big Ten Challenge, the final time for both the men's and women's, as we noted earlier, through our round of hardwood. And to begin, we're going to start off with the ladies' side. These are all the games you can look forward to here, as you can see. But there's some games that I'm just looking forward to mostly for the game. For the ladies will get there started off on Wednesday, November 30th. It'll be begin with Illinois taking on Pitt, as you can see, 5 p.m. on the ACC network, 6-1 versus 5-2. You also have Syracuse taking on Purdue. You also have Rutgers will be at Boston College, which is not on here because all this is the games that I'm looking forward to watch. You also have Wake Forest taking on Minnesota. That will be at 8 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. But these 4 games here are the games I'm looking for on Wednesday, as we already discussed the first 2. You have Virginia, who's 8-0, taking on Penn State 7-0, battle unbeaten teams up in Penn State. And then the top game for Wednesday features number 4, Ohio State. They are at Louisville to take on 10th ranked the Louisville Cardinals. Can Ohio State remain unbeaten, or will Louisville give the Buckeyes their first loss of the season? And they move up to 6-2 in a top 10 showdown down in the Bluegrass State. And then it continues on Thursday when you will see Northwestern at Duke at 5 p.m. You also have Florida State taking on Wisconsin at 7:30 p.m. But the games to watch for on Thursday for the ladies, North Carolina at Assembly Hall at 6-0. Tar Heels taking on 7-0 Hoosiers, 6 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. Then you also have Maryland, ranked 14th in the country. They are in South Bend to take on the 6-0 undefeated Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who is surprisingly not ranked for once. I'm not used to seeing the ladies Fighting Irish not ranked. That could change if they beat Maryland. Then you get down to 7 p.m. Nebraska is at Virginia Tech. Should be an interesting game to watch. Do not sleep on Nebraska if you're the Hokies. Even though you ranked 11 and Nebraska's not. Nebraska usually has a ladies team that can ball. Also at 8, you have Georgia Tech at Michigan State. That should be a fun one to watch. NC State in a top 15 showdown. They are in Iowa City to take on 9th ranked Iowa. As you know, the NC State Wolfpack, they made a great run in the tournament last year. Looking to repeat that. Kaden Clark is looking to rebound after taking her loss in the Phil Knight tournament and looking to bounce back and get Hawkeyes a big top 15 win at home. And then finally, you have 22nd ranked Michigan 7-0. They are in Coral Gables to take on 6-2 Miami. Miami is one of several teams from the state of Florida to make the tournament last year. So Michigan will have their hands full. There won't be a walk in the park for the Michigan Lady Wolverines when they take on the Hurricanes, because them ladies down in Miami are some ballers. They are some real deal ballers. That is the ladies' side. Let's flip over to the men's side, shall we? As you can see, the final time the ACC and Big Ten yet again will meet this year. They will get started on Monday, on tonight, when you see the top 2 games on the top of your screen right there. Minnesota will be at Virginia Tech, 7 p.m. ESPN2, and then followed by Pitt at Northwestern on ESPN2. Okay. But we want to get to tomorrow, because tomorrow you have 23rd ranked Maryland are in Louisville at 7 p.m. on ESPN2, which, if you seen my last episode when I did Shooting Lights Out, you know how I feel about Louisville right about now. Okay. Another game, it will be Syracuse at 16 ranked Illinois, 7:30 on ESPN, but that's not the game I'm looking forward to. The game I'm looking forward to is on your screen right here. 7 p.m. ESPNU, Penn State is in Clemson, South Carolina, take on the Tigers of Clemson. Then you have at 9 p.m. Georgia Tech at Iowa, 25th ranked Iowa. Wake Forest and Wisconsin get together. And then how about this matchup? How about this for the nightcap? Number 5, Virginia, undefeated, heading to Ann Arbor, Michigan to take on the 5-1 Michigan Wolverines. It's going to be an interesting game to watch. As you can see, I'm looking forward to this one after the Syracuse Illinois game, which precede the Virginia and Michigan game, because it is Syracuse led by Jim Boeheim. But they're going against 16 ranked Illinois, so I don't see them competing as much. But I could be wrong. I just don't see it at the moment in time. I just don't. But that is Tuesday. And then we continue on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. On Wednesday, you'll see 24 ranked Purdue taking on Florida State, who was having a down year. 7:15 on ESPN2. You also have Boston College at Nebraska at 9:15 on ESPNU. But the games I'm looking forward to on Wednesday is on the screen right here. 7:15 on ESPNU. Rutgers at Miami. Somebody's going to suffer their second loss of the season. We talking about some blue bloods. You talking about some programs to look out for. Check this out for the rest of the night. Also at 7:15 on ESPN, Ohio State is in Cameron and them to take on 8th ranked Duke. But by the time that game is played, Duke will not be 8th. They'll be ranked something else at that time. And speaking of teams that would not team who had their rankings changed, number 12 Michigan State at 5-2. They are in South Bend to take on a 5-1 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And the game that most people is looking forward to, ESPN 9:15, number 1, who will not be number 1 when this game is played. North Carolina, just like their Lady Tar Heels would be. The men will be visiting, Bloomington, Indiana at Assembly Hall to take on 11th ranked and undefeated Indiana. Kentucky has been there. They suffered a defeat. Ohio State has been there when they was up 1-0. They suffered a defeat there. I don't know if it was I think UCLA went there at one point in time. They got Assembly Hall is not a good place to go if you're the top ranked team in the country. But by then, North Carolina won't be number 1. They'll probably be somewhere down between, I would say, probably between the 8th and 10th range. And Indiana probably would be the higher seed, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. We'll find out tomorrow. But by this time these games are played, the rankings will be different when these games are played. But it doesn't take away from the excitement of these games. North Carolina at Assembly Hall. Michigan State at South Bend. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. So that's it. That's it for today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time. I am the Playmaker down in Sallins here. I appreciate y'all tuning in. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram, The Playmakers Blog. Let's type in The Playmakers Blog. You should be able to find us. Also, follow our YouTube channel. Subscribe, keep up with everything we do on our YouTube channel. Also visit our website at the same time as well. And that's it. Until next time, this has been Shooting Lights Out.
Good. You've done great. But you can't stop here. You can't stop now. You gotta keep going. Through all your trials and your tribulations, you gotta keep pushing. Now, finish your canvas.
Yeah, gotta get it out the mud, that's the only way to win. Who am I to point the finger like I never ever seen? Been through the ups and downs like the letter N. They don't let you through the door, better kick that again. Cause that's the only way to win. That's the only way to go. Gotta get it out the mud. Gotta get it out the flow. Cause that's the only way to go. Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you want to follow the podcast, you can follow it on all streaming platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and a whole lot more. This has been Shooting Lights Out.
Masterpiece.